So we've got some basic mobile content going. We want to go ahead and add some data to it to build our application. So go ahead and hit the script block here. Now I've already got jQuery at my disposal, so I want to use that. Now this is again one of those areas where if you're a developer, you need to you might want to take a fresh look at Dreamweaver, because for example, if I say $, and then hit paren, it says, hey, is it document? So it actually has code intelligence, not only for the code that you drop in by your own, on your own. For example, if you want to call specific functions and know what goes into those functions, Dreamweaver will actually inspect that JavaScript and let you know what it's passing. But it also has hints into the jQuery code syntax. So in this case, I want to say, hey, when document is, and I get all the methods that are available to this particular jQuery object. So let's say ready. And it generates the function for me. So really quickly, I'm off and running to the races with jQuery. And in fact, I want to do something like, hey, go call Ajax. And it wants to know a URL, which in this case is going to be on my website. And I don't want to use any results here. You also saw those red lines that was giving me notification of where problems were. I'm going to say, hey, on success. And there's a couple other things that come in there as well, but I'll leave the data is what I'm mostly interested in. And what we can do is then use jQuery again and say, hey, on the data, find any nodes, in this case that are session nodes.
Yeah.
And just to make sure we actually have gotten something, go ahead and, oops, what's the size? Go ahead and, we're going to go ahead and alert it just to see that we've got some data coming back. So rather than go out to the Alt tab, let's go split view, and we will refresh. And we got 11 sessions back. All right, so we know we're getting content. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and in this particular function, I'm going to go ahead and say let's create a list item to put in there, which essentially is going to be a new jQuery element based off of some HTML. And let's say, actually, you know what I'm going to do? Back up there. On each of the data elements that comes back, and we'll list over the elements that are sessions, and then go ahead and put those into the list and create pages for them. So say each session, let's go ahead and then create a list element. We're going to say this element dot attribute name, or the title of the session. This is actually a loose scheduler. And I also want to wrap that up in some new HTML. Create the list elements. And we got the title. This is much more difficult to code on a smaller screen. So that should give me my new list element, and then I'm going to go ahead, and this is another place where Dreamweaver's intelligence will actually help. I want to pin that specifically. I hit the pound sign, and it goes and looks at the DOM, tells me, hey, here are the options that you can put it on. I'm going to put it on listing, and I'm going to say, hey, append, in this case, the LI. I could have done that all online, but I'm trying to keep it on this small screen. So now we go here, refresh. So it looks like we've got the wrong title, but you get the general idea. And you look like there's no styling there. Obviously, we want to have styling, and it turns out that there's another special hook to make that happen in jQuery Mobile when you use dynamic data. I've actually gone ahead and taken that next step. Let me go ahead and open up that. and turn on the live view. And so it looks something like this. When you've got those extra special code in there for the refresh, you've got you can do real-time filtering. So we're looking for a session on mobile. Click on it, and then in this case, I added a second page, and I populated the second page with text. That is what's going on here, and the reason about jQuery Mobile is that the code is very simple. Essentially, the magic is you see these little data roles everywhere. Those are the magic. That's where it makes things turn into something else. Whether it turns into a list, or whether it turns into a page, or whether it turns into something else. So those are where the magic bits are. One of the other things I wanted to kind of show you about the live view is in terms of working with the content, you can also turn on what's called live code. And so this is again much more difficult to see on a smaller screen here. But you can actually see in the yellow here the actual DOM as the browser sees it. So as the JavaScript is executing and adding CSS and changing content and putting in nodes on demand, it's actually going to go ahead and show you that, what it looks like. And when you click on something, you can see how that node looks to the browser itself. And you might want to come in then and even modify the styles. And one of the challenges, actually, let's go back. One of the challenges you'll find with trying to modify styles is something like jQuery Global is that it's a really comprehensive framework with lots of different styles and lots of different style sheets. And so which one do you use and how do you get into things and change the color? And that's one challenge. The other challenge is if you move your mouse over or something, that's kind of a fleeting moment, because as soon as you move your mouse off of it to go and, for example, open up the CSS style sheet, you've lost what CSS style is being applied. There's a mouse over behavior. One of the things that, hey, looks content meetings for a Max conference. One of the things that the Dreamweaver will let you do is actually freeze the JavaScript. So as my mouse is over this back button, I can actually freeze the JavaScript. And at this point now, I can go ahead and introspect it and get into the CSS over here. These are all the CSS styles that have been applied. I don't have to go hunting things down, find the one that reflects what I want to do, and then go ahead and use it. And then when I'm ready, I just go ahead and resume execution so that we can go ahead and continue. So all those mouse over types of effects there. All right, so that's basic jQuery mobile application. I think some of the things I wanted to kind of point out there again were phone gap integration, jQuery mobile integration, JavaScript code hinting, including jQuery code hinting, which can be kind of a crazy syntax at times. A live view with an active WebKit, a full WebKit that you'll find on the web today, including SVG and the likes. Capability to quickly access styles, be able to freeze the execution, able to see what the DOM actually looks like to the browser. Be able to do things like, oh, here's another one. Be able to do things like see what this looks like in various screens. There's a multi-screen button up here. See that multi-screen brings up a dialog, and voila, this is the different screen resolutions that I've got set up. And this is actually going to account for media queries. You haven't heard about CSS3. Technically it's CSS2, but it's really caught on here in CSS3. Is a feature called media queries. Media query says, hey, this particular screen resolution, use this particular CSS style, so that we can adapt the display to fit. And so in this case over here, I've got a 320 by 300, a tablet is a 768, and 1126, and so we can really get a really good idea for how things are going to look on those different screens. One of the things and these are fully active WebKit instances as well. One of the things when I was first building this application as an example, one of the things I noticed is that registration and continental breakfast, I originally put the title in the title bar, thinking, yeah, that's a great place to see. You go and click on it and see the title. The problem with that is that in a 320 resolution, it was getting chopped off because there wasn't enough there to display the whole thing. And that's something I wouldn't have been able to see unless I had actually been able to test it, which normally would have involved going out and getting another device, putting it on the device and loading it up, or fidgeting around otherwise. The media queries help me see that. Oh, and I should also mention that in terms of the media queries, you can edit them. It'll go ahead and create them for you, so you can assign the CSS style sheets for different screen resolutions, on and on and on. So all kinds of multi-screen help here, and we haven't even run the application yet. All right, so I'm going to go here, go to my mobile applications. go ahead and build and emulate this on the iPhone. It's actually going to use the phone gap integration. It's going to package everything up, and then it's going to launch it out on the iPhone simulator, so that I can actually play with it on the device technically. Okay, great. And so here it is on the iPhone, and just go to the straight things we want. Go back, and we're off to the races. And so at this point, I've really made the full trip, and I'm talking fast, and I spent about 20 minutes so far, but essentially gone from nothing to what is essentially an iPhone application. At this point, assuming in the Apple world we have our appropriate signing and provisioning done, we can apply that and send this out to the market. We're good to go. And then, of course, Apple will have to approve it. Well, that's a whole story. So there's one route of being able to publish content with Adobe technologies. And the other one I'm going to show you is with our Flex Builder technology, or specifically Flash Builder technology, which essentially is the world of Flash. So the world of HTML, the world of Flash. At Adobe, we think of both of them as web standards. There's one other one that I'm leaving out that I think is really important, especially on the learning perspectives, would be the digital publishing suite, the capability to produce entire manuals and other, would otherwise be periodicals or other types of kind of page or book materials with an interactive format. So lots of publishers doing this. For example, Wired uses the digital publishing suite to produce their online, their in-market application. So digital publishing suite allows you to take InDesign content, build essentially applications out of it, and put that into market as well. I won't be talking about that today, but that's also another very interesting opportunity for you. Now, in the world of Flash, there was a guy once who said that Flash wasn't relevant. Flash wouldn't work on devices. I forget his name, Jobs something or other. Again, we're not in the world of trying to debate whether or not his perceptions were accurate. You've never really seen a formal rebuttal from Adobe in that respect. What we're really about is, again, trying to help our customers deliver to whatever screen they need to deliver on. And so to that end, we set to work on creating Flash for full version of Flash for all these different proliferation of devices. And in that respect, we have Flash Player, and that's the kind of in-browser experience you're normally aware of. And then there's another version you may not be aware of called the Adobe AIR Runtime. And the AIR Runtime essentially is Flash Player with all kinds of additional out-of-the-browser hooks to the native operating system, whatever that operating system may be, whether it be your desktop and the Windows and Mac flavor, or whether it be your Android device, your iOS device, your PlayBook device. And actually, the PlayBook device is interesting because the PlayBook device itself is actually all AIR. Everything you see when you start this device is AIR, which again is just Flash content with native hooks. And so the startup screen, the application navigator, all the default applications from the calculator, the video player, the music player, all of the stuff that you see on here, essentially, this is